from a place in city where we keep the strap everywhere. Niggas made it, so we faded with the yak.
What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right there. It's for free. And as you guys know, we want to keep bringing you these interviews. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button, like the content, share it, promote it, talk about it, and be about it so we can keep growing and keep bringing you guys as many interviews as possible. Now, today we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by two icons in the game, Big D and Easy Mo Bee. Thank you both for coming through, sirs.
Yep.
Salute.
Peace.
Yeah, Easy Mo Bee, thanks for coming through.
Yes, sir, Soren.
Yeah, so it's exciting. You guys, had put out a little bit ago that This Is My Life, double album, joint album. And now you got the new Everywhere single that's bubbling up and a lot of new things going on with both of you and so much history to talk about. So we're going to get into a lot of that today. But let's start with what's going on first. Now, with the Everywhere single, this is, new and coming out and doing extremely well. So Big D, for you, what made that a song that you think is taking off? Why?
Oh man, I think it was the concept of, how I orchestrated the record, and I basically got a bunch of, dope, fresh MCs, man, that was nice. I went and got my man Percy P, my man Bruce Wayne, my artist Hoffa. Percy P is another one of my artists who signed to my label BGF. Got an album coming out, my man Radar Black, another artist I'm working with, my boy Innocent Flow, who I'm also working with, and have an album that I'm doing with him also. So I just decided to put everybody on a song, man, let everybody shine, man, and let's bring New York back to where it need to be.
Right.
And Mo Bee, for you, what makes the connection with Big D so strong and with the other artists that are featured on Everywhere?
Well, actually, all of the featured artists that's on the album, they're people that he brought to the table. I ended up meeting all of the featured artists that he has on the album. But I want to talk about the way we met. Anybody that knows New York, shout to Tony Touch and his Toka Tuesday party, which has been majorly affected by this pandemic. Haven't been able to have it, but whenever I would go to Toka Tuesday party, I would always run into D. And one night after that, we got in the car and we went and we got some pizza right over there in the village on the block with a Cafe Wall. So across the street, this is when you could park on that street. We sitting in the car, and the Navigator that I had, it still had the cassette deck in it, and I had like some cassettes in the truck, and I was playing some beats, and it got to this one beat, and he was like, "Yo, go back, that beat right there." Okay, so it's like, "Yo, make sure get that to me." So I left. Being busy, it didn't happen, and bump into him again and again at Toka Tuesday, and he's finally like, "Yo, I want that beat." That beat ended up being NYC.
I rep NY.
I rep NY, yeah, on the album. And that started the whole culmination of the making of his first album, This Is My Life. And now we're here with him making the second one, Feel My Pain, which is a deeper album. As far as I'm concerned, it has a lot more emotion. Totally illustrating the topic of Feel My Pain. And I tried to put that into a lot of the tracks that I produced. I want to make a note and a big shout to Capital, producer of the very first single, Everywhere. Big shout to him. A lot of good things on the album. A lot of good things.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Easy Mo Bee, because one of the things that I always thought was great about a lot of your work was that it's very emotive. Whether that was something you did with Tupac or Biggie or Miles Davis or even Big Daddy Kane, So for you as a producer, as a student of music, what is it that you think enables you to dig into the emotional side of an artist and bring that out of them for what they do lyrically?
I am the diehard vinyl man. Like everything that I've ever done has been based upon records. Every beat that I have ever made from the beginning up till now was never ever derived from like a drum kit. I never ever used a drum kit before in my life. All of my drum sounds come from records. Everything, every concept, every idea begins with something I hear on a record. And that's the same process here with Big D on this album.
Okay. And then Big D as a writer, a storyteller on the This Is My Life, the first album, I really like the Reach Out song, which Static Selector I know did that one, but that one also has a very emotional side of things, and you told a really, I thought, powerful story on that about coming up in different things. So when you hear an Easy Mo B beat or a Static Selector beat, how do you find you're able to draw from your life to bring out these stories that are so compelling?
Because basically, for me, how I do it, me and Mo talk like, you know, shout out to all the other producers, but me and Mo got a deeper relationship. So, you know, when I talk to other producers, I tell them, yo, dogs, you know, yo, send me something deep. I want to get deep. But when me and Mo talk, I'm like, yo, Mo, like, he knows me. You know what I mean? He knows the enemy. He knows the outer me. So when I talk to him, I'm like, yo, Mo, like, I want a painful record, man, or I want a record where I could talk about real life, man, and you know what I've been through, what I grew up around. And he goes off of, you know, basically what I asked him for.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I asked him for I Rep NY, I was at a point in my life where things wasn't working out with me and Ultra. So I was ready to just leave the music game alone in total and just go back to what I used to know, which was the streets. But then I told Mo, I said, well, listen, if I'm going to stay in this game, I need that track, because that track right there is what's going to take me to the next level. And when he gave me that track, we put that single out, and that single rolled for 2 years without no album, no nothing. And I basically, what I did was I said, okay, I want to rep my town. I'm from New York City. So I went and got a bunch of dope, unknown MCs that was nice. And I said, listen, now I'm going to give y'all a chance to shine. Y'all nice. I'm going to put y'all on the Moby joint. Let's rep for our town. And that's what we did. We all talked about, and what I did, what was so dope about it, I got dudes from different boroughs on the record. I had one Bronx nigga, I had one Brooklyn nigga, I'm from Harlem. You know what I mean? So I took a piece from every borough and put it on. And that's why when we all talked about different people in the rhymes, like I talked about Big L. And you heard Skanks talking about Biggie. You heard us talk about Big Pun. Like we took a piece from every borough and put it into one song to rep New York City.
Yeah. I really liked on the remix too, with just having Grandmaster Caz and even Peter Guns on there, showing not only the different boroughs but the different eras of the city.
Oh yeah, I had to flip that. You know, being that I Rep NY, the original was so powerful, it made a powerful impact in the game. Where I said, okay, I called Mo B one night and I said, Mo, what do you think about me flipping I Rep NY into a remix like you did with Flavor in Your Ear? And this time, I'm gonna get a bunch of old school legendary cats and put them on the same record. So I went and grabbed Peter Guns. I went and grabbed Grandmaster Caz from Cold Crush Brothers. I went and grabbed Tito from Fearless 4, you know, and I just put all the legends on one record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was really powerful. And for you, Easy Mo B, as a producer, how do you find the bridging all these different generations of rappers? You know, why is that important? why do you think it works well when it works?
Well, I don't know. I think generations probably might have less to do with it. My concentration is sonically. It's just about, does it fit? Does it sound right? You know, that's what it all comes down to for me. And that process can be going through a couple of different beats, a couple of different tracks. I can actually tailor something for them. A lot of the songs that we did on Big D's album is tracks that I just gave them, and they just happened to work out. There's only a couple on the album that I actually tailored for the situation.
And what's
one of them? You have Back in the Day. Yeah, Back in the Day, and also to Yo D, what's the joint that got Innocent on it? I forgot the name of the joint. The joint with Innocent.
Oh, you talking about Not Hard?
Well, This Is My Life.
Oh, you talking True Story? Yeah.
So it's just like it's a sonic process, man. It's just about, you have to try things out. Sometimes it could be from a track that's already made. Sometimes you gotta build a brand new track.
Right. Now,
you know?
So Easy Mo B, one thing I know from talking to you before, and speaking about remixes and different things, was when you had done Big Daddy Kane's Another Victory, you had told me that you wanted to change something from what ended up being on the album, and he said, save it for the remix. So what happened?
Well, oh yeah. When I recorded with Big Daddy Kane, the sample was just dry. It didn't have no drums to it. And I wanted to drum it up. And Kane was like, nah, just leave it. And I thought that if I just kept coming back to him, like, yo, why don't you just try it? And every time that I came back, he was getting annoyed, but he turned it into like some comical stuff. Every time I would come back, he would be like, on the remix. So with that, I just left it alone because he had the whole room laughing and it was kind of clowning me. But it just shows, even that earlier in my career, just how determined I am to complete something. You know what I mean? And to get it, in my opinion, in its fullness. And the same thing here on Big D's album. And the making of those tracks. See, because my process, Soren, is I like to get the beat done before, if we're going into an actual studio, I like to have the track completed by the time we get there. I don't believe in going into the studio and making beats. I would if I had to, but that's wasting and eating up a lot of studio time. I like to go right in with the track done, complete it, you track it, and I don't know, depending on how long it takes for me and the engineer to track it, 15 minutes to a half an hour. After that, the MC can go in the booth and go ahead and get busy. Nobody wants to sit around, you know what I mean, for 3 and 4 hours waiting for you to come up with a track. So
Big D, how is that different from the other producers you worked with in your career?
I mean, with other producers, to be honest, as far as my solo career, I had an album out in 2007, and a lot of those beats was like, I just brought them from people and jumped on it. Like, I never had to produce in a studio, so I knew with This Is My Life, I wanted to go a different angle. And because of the relationship that I built with Mo in the last 8 years, I said, yo, me and Mo had a good chemistry, so I said, yo, I need my big bro there. Because if anybody, he can guide me and let me know if this is dope, what should I fix, what should I leave alone, what should I redo. I didn't want nobody that was gonna be a yes man in the studio with me. So I had Mo be there all the way, like. But this album is more different because Mo, with the double album, Mo was there for for one of the albums, he wasn't there. Like, I brought a lot of the material back. He was happy with it. But then when I recorded the second part of the album, he was there for the whole session for the whole second album of the double album. He was there. So I wanted to keep the same chemistry with this album, with the Feel My Pain album. And we did it just like that with this album. Now, I mean, hands-on. He been hands-on. And our chemistry is just so great, man. I mean, Mo even got his things where rhymes I've said on a new album where Mo didn't like it, and he'd be like, no, say this. And I didn't, you know what I mean? So,
because that's the role of a true producer. A true producer don't come into the studio and just, okay, you lay the track, and then the singer or the rapper goes into the booth, and whatever they do, like, you just like yes in it, like, yeah. You get involved with the process. Say it like this. Say it like this. I think you could have said it better in this way. Maybe they used 14 words. You could have said that better in 12. You know what I mean? Things like that. I get involved in the session.
On the new album, there's a song called In These Streets, and Mo B, you know, he got writer's credit in there because there's a lot of things in there that he, you know, he told me to put in that sounded real dope. And I was like, wow, like it was things I had already laid, and I wasn't happy with it. He wasn't happy with it. So once he said he wasn't happy with it, it had to go. Then he was like, we try it this way. And then I did it his way, and it came out more fire. So we kept, you know, what the way he did it.